Now it's time for us to finish up our battle window. We're going to need to add an area to store buttons for the player to perform actions during combat. Let's select our battle window and create a new image. We're going to name this Actions. Change the anchor to the bottom and set the position Y to 15. Next, let's go ahead and change the source image to the window border. And inside of this, we're going to want to add a vertical layout group. Let's go ahead and change the vertical layout's padding to 5 for the left, the right, the top, and the bottom. We'll also want to add a content size fitter. And here we're going to change the horizontal fit to preferred size, as well as the vertical fit to preferred size too. Now that our layout is set up, let's go ahead and drag the body prefab from our Advanced UI Prefabs folder onto the Actions game object. We're going to call this Instructions. And inside of the text, let's write Pick an Action. We'll also want to make sure that this is center aligned as our Actions game object expands out when we add the buttons. In order to add the buttons, we're going to need to create a new empty game object. We'll call this one Buttons. And let's add a horizontal layout group. Then we can drag our first button onto the Buttons group. We'll call this button Attack. And let's change the text inside of our button to say Attack as well. We'll also drag another button, and we'll call this Run. And change the text to say Run as well. Now let's select our Attack and Run buttons and change their preferred width to 60. At this point, we now have the Actions panel inside of our battle window. The last thing we want to do is add a little bit of randomness to the way that the scene looks whenever we open up a battle. Let's go ahead and open up our battle window code. We're going to need to import the UI namespace. So let's type using Unity Engine.ui, and then at the top, we're going to create a public image array called Decorations. We're also going to create a private field typed to system.random, and we'll call this rand, and we'll set it equal to a new instance of the system.random class. Finally, let's override the open method. And as we open up the window, let's create a for each loop. We'll set a variable called decoration, and we'll iterate inside of the decorations array. And for every decoration, we'll simply set its enabled value to equal rand.nextDouble, and we'll see if the next double is greater than or equal to 0.5. Let's save this, go back into Unity, and click on our battle window. We should now see an array of decorations. Simply drag the clouds and the mountains over to the array and run the game. We'll select our game window and scroll down and start our battle. As you can see, every time we click the Start Battle, the background changes. It'll either show the mountains, the clouds, or both. And now we have a complete battle window with our monster, our actions, and it also has some variety to show a random background whenever we start a new battle.